right, I think we're all set up, hopefully. Was messing with a new camera set, trying to do an overhead, so trying to figure that out. Today we are doing the wonderful Hero from EmpireEars. It's a premium hybrid in-ear monitor. So with this, I might as well roll into a quick unboxing. Kind of show you how it looks when you unbox it. It comes in a pretty nice box. Well, this is actually going to be sideways. There we go. I messed that up. See, this is what I get for messing with a new setup. So, EmpireEars Hero. Kind of see how it. Well, there we go. Slides open. Just a nice little sleeve. Get the Empire logo. Suit of extraordinary, and opens up to Empire's. Well, the IAMs would be there, but I have them someplace else, and then the cable, and then their manual and all the other fun stuff. And then it just slides open to a nice little drawer thing here with final audio IEM tips, and then a pretty cool little carrying case. That's a magnet, of course. That over here. So, EmpireEars Hero. Pretty cool little case. It's metal. Kind of a cool design. And so that just opens up, and actually kind of cool. There's a rubber. I don't know if I can get the light to properly get in there with that, but there's a rubber EmpireEars logo inside there too. And then inside is the EmpireEars Hero. And it comes with a copper cable. And there they are. Cable is, as you can see, a little bit janky. It's not my favorite. It has a lot of memory to it. Let's see, the connectors are pretty nice. I think these are 2-pin, so a little bit tight in there. In fact, I'm going to switch to front facing because the lens I have for this is a little bit dark, so you guys get you an idea. There it is. So it's a 2-pin connector. It has the heat shrink on there to give you the ear thing. Some people like or don't like that. It's got the full acrylic build across the way. Let's see here. This one has, so actually something pretty cool, if I can get this to focus on these and not my eyes, is they have, you kind of see it there, is the writing says Hero. And then it's on this one as well, but it's kind of dark, but it's blue. So you have blue and red written Hero and the serial number, I believe. And so that's kind of cool to showcase the right and left sides. It's also on the cables themselves. There's a little left and right indicator, right angle 3.5 connector. And this cable is not my favorite. Like I said, it's a kind of a mess. Yeah, lots of memory to it. Yeah, I mean, I think the quality of the actual copper and what have you is what it is. Let's see here. Yeah, it's very similar unboxings. I'm going to use wonderful Asla Sedna tips. They go on pretty easy. Hopefully this time I don't get them stuck in my ears. Alright, and I'll be using the RME ADI2 DAC for my listening session for how these are. I haven't actually listened to these for a couple days. I listened to them for a real brief bit when I first got them in, and then mostly got sidetracked with other projects. So, but cable's actually pretty decently long, longer than my arm. It looks like just about 5 feet maybe. Anyhow, into the wonderful RME, which you can see, where am I at here? listening off of Qobuz. But now I guess going into the fit of these, pretty standard. Go on. A little bit of driver flex in the left ear, but nothing that's worth mentioning or noting. Actually, another thing is this case is really cool. It's a really nice billet aluminum case. I don't know if I can get the light to shine in here. Well, and inside here is the EmpireEars thing. It screws on pretty nice. Is that nice? Comfort-wise, these things pretty good. They're on par with what I recall the Legacy 5s and the Clairvoyants are. They're a little bit on the bigger side, but not horrible. You can kind of see they stick out a little bit, but nothing that's extreme. Comfort-wise, isolation is interesting. They have pretty good isolation. I can hear myself. I'm probably going to talk loud. But yeah, overall it feels pretty decent for comfort. They don't feel horrible. They feel pretty good. They do press a little bit on my my ears like out here, right here. So you can kind of see like it presses in this part of your ear. I can feel that pressure there pushing on it, but that's fine. Yeah, random find actually. This shirt, it was a random. Can't remember where we were at, and I was just like, oh, that's a dope shirt. It's a I Love Ramen shirt. Let's see here. Yeah, comfort's fine. The seal is pretty good with the Azosednas. And then towards the end of this, I'll do a comparison with my Unique Melody MEST, which I believe are roughly in the same price point. The issue is I don't have my adapters with me for some reason. I don't know where I put them, so I'm using a really janky, weird adapter system here. I'm using because the cable I have for my MEST are a 2.5 balanced and a 4.4 Pentacon balanced cables only for my MEST. So I had to do some quick tomfoolery to make this work. So I have a 2.5 balanced XLR. This little balanced 2.5 XLR into an XLR adapter that has a 3.5. So it's so we'll see how well that works out. Anyhow, I guess go right into some music with these. As I recall, like I listened just real briefly when I first got them, so I don't really have a quick proper memory to them. But I do believe these are pretty V-shaped, but we'll jump into it. We'll start with I have Rose Rouge put up, but let's see. I like going into Go-Go Penguin just because they have such good good range. So this is Signal in the Noise, Go-Go Penguin. Kind of been my go-to track for checking on. Whoa, that bass is nice. That bass hits. That's a pretty nice little bass hit there, and the drums are really nice. Sorry, I'm gonna get my camera a little bit better here. But yeah, the bass is really good. That kick drum is just hitting. And the piano seems further away than what I would remember this track being on my other tracks. The hi-hats are hitting pretty good. The piano's tone is a little off to me. Like the higher tone, like the higher notes are a little bit off to me. Definitely has a V shape to it. The bass is definitely the star of the show right now. And then the stand-up bass, the strumming, you can hear the thump with that. It's really nice. Right now, just for this evaluation, I'm doing just the RME as both the amp and the DAC source. And then I'm running Qobuz. So Qobuz into the RME ADI2. this thing is it's hard to talk. This thing's definitely the bass gets in your gets in your face. But yeah, just the RME. The DAPs I have are the N6II, which I don't actually have on hand right now. It's in my bedroom, but I'm also borrowing a Plenu, and this thing's pretty fantastic. It's more of your traditional audiophile DAP in the sense that it has no streaming services at all. So it's purely what FLAC files you have and that kind of thing, which is, it's actually really nice too. It has a rose gold tint to it, just on loan from a buddy of mine. It's really cool. Like the layout's really cool. It has some really cool preset EQ on it too. Something called before I make a fool of myself and say what it is without actually knowing what it is, the BBE preset. It's called BBE presets, and they have some really fantastic sound. Like they boost the sound in ways that are really cool without having to like go in and like finagle with the EQ settings. And it does some pretty crazy things with the EQ. See, this, like that kind of EQ I don't mind doing because it's so easy. You just click instead of having to like kind of find where you think the errors are, where it doesn't like it, and then have to like mess with that much. Anyhow, this I like the drums and I like the bass. The piano is not my favorite with this track. The tonal balance for the piano is off for me for the Hero in this track specifically. Let's see. We'll do let's do Wild Rivers Thinking About Love, because this one has a pretty airy mastering, echoey kind of. The electric guitar sounds good in the beginning, and her voice, see, there's something off about her voice too though. It's definitely, it's hitting right, but it doesn't have as much fullness as I'm used to hearing with it. But it sounds fine. It sounds really good though. Yeah, I'll do Yossi Wandering next. That's a good call. I will say this, like, it does seem, she's kind of off center to my head. Yeah, just slightly, not crazy. It might just be the way that the echo of the master is. The warmth of the guitar though, like you could hear it more than I'm used to. I think it's that bass, that extra bass, and then yeah, the drums kick in and it's nice. The drums are placed pretty well. So far with this song, it's not really an imaging or staging song, but it's got its thing. Anyhow, Luke, Kevin, Ray, Paul, how goes it, Paul? I think Paul, these are a good compliment, Paul, to what you have, because they're a little bit more bassy, so you get a little more warmth to it. But the treble's pretty good. But there's something, I think it's the mids I'm having. Not that it doesn't sound bad. It's just it's a little bit further away than I would like, or pulled back a little bit on the mids level. But the warmth is nice, and the details seems pretty good. I like the drums. They do feel a little bit not as like snappy. Oh, is it sibilant right now? Okay, one sec. Sorry guys. I think I had it turned up on accident. Let me turn it down. And I'm also talking louder because I have these in. And oh yeah, one sec. I don't have my software turned on for it. Thank you. It is going to be sibilant because I don't have certain things on. I was up late last night editing photos. All right, that should be slightly better. Hey Ray, let me know if my mic's a little bit better now. I'm still talking loud, but Hey Martin, what's going on, man? The drums are good, but they do feel a little bit further back than what I'm used to, or what I so from the mess from my recollection. Let's go Yoshi Hara. Oops. So that's in the distance. We aren't wandering. See, it feels a little more in my head. It feels like he's more like right behind my ear walking up, whereas other, I mean, they're IEMs, so you have that, but it does feel like he's walking up behind my ear more. The acoustics are actually pretty good. It does feel a little bit pulled back with like drums and certain acoustic, like the guitar and stuff, but the bass is, I think it's because the bass is pretty elevated. But the bass is nice. It has a nice snap to it, and everything does have nice snap to it. But the like right now, like the drums right now, they're crisp, but they have that crispness, but it's like almost, it's not veiled. It just seems like it's you're further away from it. And then the birds singing feel like they're just more background, I guess, instead of more like in the stage. Marcus Miller. But as far as detail, like the imaging, I'm definitely picking up all the different parts and the shakes and like the different drum beats and the birds. So it's definitely doing really well with that. And it sounds, I mean, I not having any faults with it overly right now, other than the slightly. It seems like the mids aren't that. Is there's something going on with the mids? It feels like somewhat, but I'm not. I'm not an EQ guy. I'm just surrounded by EQ people, so it's starting to rub off on me. Um, Marcus Miller, Silver Rain. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, I spelled the name wrong. Like, like there's like a rain. You have like a wind blowing through the trees. It sounds pretty good. It sounds natural. It does sound natural, especially with like the literal natural recording of birds and wind in the trees. It sounds really good. So Marcus Miller, Silver Rain. Let's try this one out. Oh, I like that. The bass is really nice. It has a nice, really nice bass to it. Yeah, that's nice. The guitar, you can hear it is really, ooh. Is that sax? And the guitar, electric guitar, and then it's, or what is that? Yeah, the guitar sounds really good, and the brushes are back here behind me, so like it's definitely more of an in my head staging, but the imaging's really good, and I like how it's like putting things appropriately spots. Like the imaging is really good. The separation's pretty good too, as far as the different instruments and the yeah, and then like the way that like the drums snapping, and then you can hear the plucking of the electric guitar and like the bass. It's really nice. Yeah, and his voice is good. Like it's not in my face, but it's more like it's almost like I'm center stage. It's like my head is the stage. It's like right there. All right, let's find an acoustic, a proper acoustic track here. Oh, the vocalists in the background, the backup vocalists. That's sound good. Uh, Trying to think what would be a good. 'Cause, 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 Wow, I'm just really liking this track. Sorry, I'm starting to get lost. It's just really good. Like I really like the brass too. Everlong. Yeah, I'll try that, Martin. While I try to think of a good acoustic track. This is the Foo Fighters, correct? Everlong. I'll listen to Everlong Acoustic. How about that? Two birds, one stone. And then I'll do Eric Clapton. Oh, that's good. The acoustics, the guitar sounds pretty good. The sliding of the guitar. It's definitely an in my head the stage though. Like it doesn't have the wider staging, but it sounds good. I'm actually digging on it. I can dig on it. They're definitely a bigger IEM though. I'm starting to feel it pushing in my ear. Oh yeah, the vocals are interesting. He kind of almost slowly kind of pans a little bit. But it's like he's still like it's almost like he's kind of singing on either side of the mic a little bit. It's what I'm picking. I feel like it sounds fantastic. But I think that this is doing really good. I think it's just missing something, and like there's I haven't looked at the frequency response to this. It's definitely more of a shallow V maybe, but the mids it does feel a little bit pulled back. Like it's definitely the highs are not in your face. It's overall it's not really an in your face like signature. Like it's not really pushing it at you. It's more of a relaxed, and then but the bass is more in your face, but not in a bad way. It's just more present, I guess would be a better way to say it. There's not much bass in this track, so can't really talk about that one. Let's try a Eric Clapton, and then we'll try a low Nobody Loves Me Like You. So, any specific track, Paul, that you'd like me to try out? I can try. We'll do the classic Tears in Heaven. We'll do oh yeah, Tears. It started right off the bat. Tears of Heaven. I'm picking up the background noise of like the recording. It has that little bit of that hiss of like the way that the recording is, but not the IEMs, but the mastering of the track. These are pretty low noise so far. I haven't had any issues with noise coming in. Oh man, the actual strumming, Paul, like it's crazy when he hits like the higher notes. They're I'm getting one over here a little bit. The and they're definitely the guitar strums are more present than his like the guitar feels like it's closer to me and his voice is further away, but it's not in a bad way. It just feels that the guitar is taking center stage. But it sounds good, and the warmth is a little bit better from what there, but it definitely feels a little lean. And that's all. I'm also a ZMF mids guy, so I guess that's where it is. All right, let's get on. But to me, it sounds good. It has a nice high, like with the guitar pluck, like twang. Low. Let's see here. Is this low roar? Is that what this is? Hopefully that's what it is. That's what I popped up. Starts with an interesting Damn you, Taryn. Damn you. Oh, actually, that's probably Resolve, huh? Oh, I like the vocals on this one. This one's a little more, but there's this presence, whatever. What is that? It reminds me of bagpipes, maybe like an organ of some sort. But the vocals are nice here. And it has a better presence with the vocals. But it's a little pervasive with this horn that's just nonstop there. Interesting. I'm going to see if I can get into something. Skipped ahead minute 2:40. Guitars are nice. It still has that pervasive organ. I think it's an organ in the background. I was guessing with the Artemis and Parzival. Yeah, the strumming of the guitar is really good. Like that, it feels tonally sounds pretty good. Ben Harper Eldorado. Okay, Ben Harper Eldorado. Ooh, I like the and the guitar kicks right in. These are actually pretty good for acoustic. I mean, it's a little bit on the, it feels like a little bit on the I wouldn't say sibilant, but the twang of the acoustic guitar, or like that, it's definitely, it bumps. You know what I mean? Like it spikes a little bit, but not to sibilant level. But it has that, like, it definitely is more present there. Yeah, I'm actually Andrew number 4. So if you guys didn't know, I like the bass. The bass is like, it's even with the certain guitars, like the lower notes are just, they sound good. Definitely where this thing shines. But acoustic's pretty good. I think it's pretty nice. It does get that twang though, man. I could see if you're a little sensitive to the highs that might be problematic for you. But it sounds good. Fast forward a little bit. Yeah, the bass, and you can hear the sliding of his fingers on the guitar. It's good though. Where was that? Hans Zimmer. Yeah, Hans Zimmer's going to be fantastic. Ooh. It has a really cool echo. I'm listening to the Stefan Hauser version. I should probably do the film soundtrack though, huh? Or should I do the two cellos version? Oh, it sounds good though. And it kind of moved more to my left ear now all of a sudden, and like the presence there, like one of the other instruments. It's not the. This is good. And the bass, like the slapping part for like the deeper notes is good. I like it a lot. It has a good presence. I still feel like I'm a little bit further back from it. Yeah, I think Paul, you'll like this. It's a good compliment to what you have. I think that you'll like this. Oh, that bass kicked in. I want to see if I can. This is the original. This is. Anyways, let's see here. Wanted to find. I clicked something. Now I'm stuck listening to the quotes. Oh, dang it. All right, Artemis and Parsifal, Gunship. Should I do the instrument? I'm doing instrumental, just to spite you. Oh man, it kicked off right away. That's cool. This actually sounds good. Like it's definitely still like a closed-in stage, but these are, I think, performing really well for what they are. And by what they are, I mean an IEM for staging, not not anything else. Yeah, that kicked in pretty good. It has the drums kick in and had the little sparkle. It wasn't as wide as I recall when I heard this last time. Like it didn't have that big like across the board, but it's good. Oh, I do have the Neo. Would that be a better comparison versus the MEST, do you think? That would probably be, because they are both pretty bassy. That's actually fair. And I do have the lovely Neo in all of its janky cable goodness. They definitely are battling for jankiest cable. Man, this is intense. Like the drums are really good with this. That's a good question. To the Monarch, I think the Monarch might actually be slightly more. That has that sub bass, so I think the Monarch has a little edge in that part. But overall, I think this is a better IEM across the board, like a little more detail, a little more Christmas to it. Though I do still feel like there's something missing, and I think it's just that it feels like it's more pulled back. So here, actually. This is actually perfect. I will do a comparison with the Neo, because I do have that as a lovely demo here too, and that way I don't have to do this weird contraption cable for my MEST. And since these are both supposed to be the bassy IEMs to compete, right? The thing with the Neo though is it does come with modules to make it darker or what have you. So something to be aware of there. But the Neo is also a very beautiful. God, this is a cool track actually. Yeah, like the cable for this is the 64 audio cable. They're actually very similar to the Heroes. I think that the Heroes cable is thicker and has a little bit better build in the actual cable, but it has a memory to it that's not the greatest. This one's a little bit less memory, but it still has that like memory of it, but not as bad as this one. But yeah, but these are beautiful IEMs, the Neo. Let me see here. I'm gonna do a Neo impressions at some point too, so I'm just trying to catch up. Oh, it gets a little bright. These do get a little bright. They're definitely V-shaped. How much time we got there? So let's pick something kind of random and fun to compare these two. Trying to think of a good track that would be a fun one. Maybe this one? Clara, This Love? I can't remember if this had bass to it though. Not really. This sounds good though. It's Vincent? Susan? No bass there either. That's some bass. Ooh, I know. We could do. The bass. We'll do Human, Rag and Bone Man. That was a pretty fun. So, Human, Rag and Bone Man has a pretty fun bass. It has that crisp clap and like almost like change rattling or dropping. A little more Christmas. His voice sounds really good. The bass is pretty good. It's more of a bass guitar. Electric bass guitar is what it sounds like. It has that strumming, dum dum. And the claps are really crisp. The bass isn't actually that gnarly with this one. I might have to do another track after this and use something more bassy. Let me scoop ahead. Yeah, the bass sounds good. His voice sounds good. He has a nice little echo to it. All right, I guess we'll do the same track, but with the lovely Neo. The other thing is these are actually I really like the look of the plates of these with that black and white. It's really nice. And in with the Neos. In with the Neo, out with the Heroes. Sorry, bad joke. That was dumb. Uh, okay, I'll do Groove is in the Heart. Oh yeah, Royals is another good one. Oh, I do have Toxicity. I might do that one too. Oh man, this is like a breath of fresh air putting these in. Actually, they almost don't. I almost need to get bigger tips, I think, to get a proper seal, maybe. Because these are definitely. They're smaller, much smaller. And they just kind of pop right in. Alright, let's. I'm not volume matching, just in case these are more sensitive. No, they're about the same. A little bit. I need a little more power with these ones. It's not accurate, so I'm not giving the proper thing, but these have more presence. The bass feels everything's just. Remember I was saying like everything's a little bit further away with those. This one's like it's there, like it has more presence. It's more energetic feeling. But the crispness is missing a little bit, it feels like. It's missing some. The crispness is still there. It's very accurate, but it doesn't have the crispness that the Hero has. Hey, Pelpan. All right, let's do grooves. The bass feels like it's a little more boomy with these. I'm talking too loud. Is this Delight? Groove is in the Heart? Oh, I know this track. This is a fun one. You're right. This one has a little more like they're both kind of closer in your head. The this one just has more presence. It feels like imaging is a little bit better. It feels like separation a little bit, and that issue I was having with the mids is not here with these. The highs feel, yeah, like the highs, Paul. It feels like the Hero is a little bit crisper, but this one has the more presence in the. I think it's that mid range, so the upper mids where it gives that vocals and stuff a little more presence. I think this one's a little bit. This one, the Neos are a little bit better. The bass is definitely a little more boomy. Let's go into something. Let's see here. All right, Royals. I was gonna do a Lipa. Oh, bass is good here. So, it's the snaps are very echoey. Her voice is a nice warm, Lord's voice, warm. Oh, the bass is definitely more. It has this more of a boom to it, and there's the echo of the snaps. It has a. The bass definitely has more of like a woomph to it. Like I don't know how to explain that better. Like, but and then there's a underlying like what is that? There's another bass. It sounds like almost like a kick drum bass, but like really like a whooshy kick drum. And then there's another one underneath. It almost sounds like a strum of a bass guitar. Yeah, like an electric bass guitar. It almost sounds like, and the like underlying. But let me swap back to the Hero and see how. Man, these things are much easier to live with. They're much smaller. I am. Which one are we going here? So Heroes, back in to the mix, and then Lord Heroes. Let's start off a little bit. Oh yeah, these are crisper for sure. I'd actually almost say that the highs are even more present than the bass with this. the snaps and her voice is definitely more crisp. But the bass is good. It has the same thing, but it's not as the bass doesn't have as much boom to it, or as much like that boom to it. Like there's not as much presence with this one. And you know what's funny is the electric bass is coming through more than the kick. I think it's a kick drum. Like I'm getting the reverby kind of electric bass. Like that's more present than with the Neo. Huh. And the snaps are very crisp. It's crispy. It's definitely crispy. And not in a horrible way, but I could see if you're sensitive to it, it might be an issue. But the bass is still there. It's just a different. It's just kind of prioritizing other bass. Let's see, what do I have that's another bassy? I kind of want to throw that Go-Go Penguin back on, but I have a Bury a Friend, Billie Eilish. That's a pretty bassy one, as I recall. Oh, yeah. Billie Eilish, Bury a Friend. The bass and her voice, it sounds good. The bass definitely has that like boom ba-dum ba-dum ba-dum. And you can hear the drums and the sides. It kind of goes, which is really cool. Yeah, it sounds really good. These are definitely fun. Speed. I'd have to go back to the Go-Go Penguin Ray for the speed one, I think, to test that one out. But I think, or actually, I can do my final in in tradition of Elnick, even though I don't know if he's here or not. I can throw on Baby Metal. We can test the speed after this. We'll do this last little Billie Eilish, and then we'll do Baby Metal, Blow My Ears Out, and make me go crazy with how much is going on. And not be able to talk about what I'm hearing. The memory wrap on these is a lot more intense on the U12s. Or the Neo, sorry. Boop. Her voice is more intimate. The bass does feel a little more like I'm picking up more of that. It's more boomy. I think with the Billie Eilish, I actually prefer the Heroes, but her voice is better in this one. Oof. And then when it gets like that long bass, it's pretty interesting. These definitely get a little interesting with that bass part, but I think that the Heroes actually have a little bit better. And I'm missing a little bit of the detail in the highs. That may be because just going back and forth, but because the Heroes are so much more like in your face with the highs with those. That might be the issue. Hey, senor. Yeah, her voice is definitely better, and the vocals are better with the Neo. All right. I think on that I will. Yeah, it's pretty strong memory wire. Do I even have Baby Metal saved? I probably should save it. Just reasons I don't have it saved. All right. All right, testing of speed. I mean, the Apple dongle is the best DAP you can get, so I mean, there is that. So ridiculous. All right, give me chocolate by Baby Metal. Testing of the speeds. Here it comes. My brain's gonna get melted. I mean, these are handling it really well, the Neo, and the highs and like everything there. It's just coming full bore, brain melting metal. These are handling the drums really well. Guitar sounds good. It's just intense. Her voice is actually a little bit bright, but not horrible, but still definitely a little bit brighter than I recall listening before. Whew. And then they go into vocals. Decent. I don't know if these would be my preferred listen with these. I think these definitely got a little bit bright with some of that. Woohoo! But they kept up with the drumming and the guitars. I could definitely keep the separation. The imaging was there. I can hear all the different hits and strums. So let's see how the Hero does with this crazy track that goes nuts. All right. It's definitely brighter. Cymbal crashes are not as crisp or not as clean sounding. The drums, but the rest of the drums are pretty decent. It's keeping up, but I think it's not keeping up to the level that the Neo was. Yeah, it's not keeping up with the imaging and speed that like the Neo was, but it's still there. It's just not as good in that area. Things are starting to bleed a little bit together. Not as bright as the Neo either with her voice here. Like I can handle it better. It's not as sibilant or piercing into my ears. But the hi-hats and some of the drums are bleeding into other things and making it a little bit hissy, like you know, not sibilant, but just has this like splashiness to it, where they're kind of bleeding over in each other. Ooh, okay, now I can take a breather. So yeah, my hot take on the Hero is, yeah, I'm not sure how good these would be with like a proper metal thing. Like that wasn't my favorite experience, to be honest. It definitely couldn't keep up with some of the speed. It got real splashy there, and I lost some of the imaging and separation. The Neo definitely kept up, but acoustics and almost everything else I've listened to, it was different strengths and weaknesses, of course, between obviously the Neo, but overall, I think these were pretty fun IEMs, and they handle things really well. Yeah, it's tough to listen. I would say that the Neo would be better for metal than the Hero, just because it has a little bit. Actually, yeah, I do have my MEST here. I might as well throw that in, right? Let's throw that in the ring and see what that comes up. I do think the MEST has some of the best speed capabilities, and just I don't think that the MEST it's kind of a more of a preference thing, but when I had the U12T and the MEST in at the same time, I do think that the U12T was the better overall IEM over the MEST, but the MEST had a little bit more uniqueness to it, and that's what kind of grabbed my attention and kept me there. So into this MEST. What am I listening to baby metal with this? Is that what I'm doing? Oof. Okay. So I'm using the MEST cable, which there's minute 7. Oh, there's a game on. I timed this wrong. Let's see here. I'll just start it here. Yeah, I'd say the MEST has better drums. The drums feel cleaner across like the whole, like just the drum in general, and the guitar is a little bit pulled back actually, but the drums a splash. Her vocals aren't as piercing. They sound more appropriate. They're not as piercing. It's a little more even keeled between both of the other IEMs. But yeah, I mean it's still a little splashy, but that's the nature of this track. Okay, I'm gonna switch it out here. I need to reset my brain. we'll go on to what's something that's easy to listen to. But yeah, the MEST, I think it was a little bit faster. It kept up a little bit better. It was more in as far as speed, was closer in line with the Neo. Had more, and then I think that the drums were a little bit better than both for that specific track with the MEST, and then the vocals were much better with the MEST. Yeah, so on that. Yeah, so I think that's where I think I can leave it with that. I think that I mean, they're all doing different things, so that's the other thing. Like, I think the Neo is really cool because you have the different modules that you can do, and I'll do a one of these impressions with the Neo here in the near future. But the Hero, I think, I was really impressed with the acoustic capabilities. The bass is nice. It handled jazz really well. It handled acoustics. It handled some folk stuff. The metal was different. It did okay, but I think that the fast metal, I should say, I think the Neo did better than it. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't like I wouldn't be like, oh god, take it out of my ear or anything like that. But yeah. But overall, though, I think that the Hero it's pretty impressive. I really do like the bass on it. I guess it's really going to come down to what your preference is. It seems like trying to remember how. I think that the electric bass sounds slightly better, or like a strummed bass sounds like. I think for whatever reason I was getting a little more presence with that over the Neo. Might be flipping that around though. But yeah, they just do different. They're doing similar but different things. They're different price points, obviously. I think the closest price point, the Neo, I think is pretty heftily more expensive than the Hero, a couple $100 more. Then the MEST is more in line price point wise with the Hero, and I think that for me, if between the two, I prefer the MEST personally, but I can see where someone would enjoy the Hero. Yeah, so I think that kind of sums it up. I think with the Hero, it has really fun sounding, more V shape. The thing that I don't like so much, obviously, is I'm not a big fan of the cable memory, but it's not a bad cable. It's a nice cable outside of the jankiness, and which is that memory factor. The other thing I think for me, the other weird thing that I wasn't the biggest fan, there's something going on with like a pulled back mids, it feels like. It got a little too bright at certain points. But outside of that, they're pretty enjoyable IM. So so I'm more of I just happen to have a lot of IMs right now, so I'm trying to get through them. But I actually prefer over ears to IMs. I'm not a big fan of putting IMs in my ears, so take that for what it is worth as well. I'm just trying to get through these and kind of find ones that I like. So far, my favorites have been the MEST. I do enjoy the Neo. I really enjoyed the U12T, but right now my favorite ones IMs I've purchased and owned myself are the Unique Melody MEST, and I have for fun the Campfire Andromeda Golds. So if that makes sense. Ray, let's see. Actually, I would probably put for me personally, the MEST is better. I would actually probably take the Neo over the Hero as well, just for fit and comfort. And it does have some more customizability with the modules, but I think it is also more expensive by a couple $100. So that's a tough one. To kind of quantify. I don't think that's a proper assessment, but I do think that the Hero it's a different sound. It would give you a different sound to the MEST for sure. Like, it's giving you a little more emphasis in the highs and the bass, and it was really fun with the acoustic stuff. Actually, that was actually really nice. So yeah. Why the Andromeda? I have a weird thing where I really like the Andromedas. They fit my ear well. I like the black and gold look of them. I think, do I have him? I think I have him right here. And they're just fun. I think they're just a fun IEM to listen to, and I enjoy listening to them on the go. And I need to. but yeah, I like the way they fit in my ears, and for on the go listening. Personally, I actually like something with a little more warmth to it or bass, just because that tends to be when I'm out and about, and that's better for isolation, that kind of stuff. So that's why. Yeah. But anyways, that's my Andromeda Gold. They're fun. They a little more bassy, but the main thing, Hero is really good. I enjoy the bass. I really enjoyed it with the acoustic stuff, the jazz. The bass is really fun. The highs were really good in the acoustics and jazz stuff, but could be a little bit trebly or a little bit too high for some people. I could see because they were pushing it for me on a couple tracks. I'll do the Andromeda. I'll do a review of the Andromeda. I'll compare it to the MEST. That's relatively close enough. But I'll do one of those next time. But yeah, I'll talk with you guys later. Once again, saying bye forever. I'm that guy. Oh, bye. Oh, but no. Yeah. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for jumping in with me, and hopefully that was entertaining, if nothing else. Watching me have my ears, my brain scrambled by baby metal at the end, hopefully it's not going to be a tradition, but it sounds like it's turning into one. And we will chat later. I think, there's going to be a really fun stream on the Headphone Show on Thursday. We're going to have Alex Rosin on the show from Rosin Audio for Rad Zeros. So check that out for Thursday. That's going to be, I believe, at 11. Resolve just put out a video on the Rad Zeros that Alex sent him to test out, and they're beautiful. They're this blue and gold flake, blue with like a gold flake, fantastic looking headphone. Go check that out, and I'll see you Thursday if you jump on with the Headphone Show, and maybe later on this week I'll come up with another stream or something. All right, cheers everybody, and have a good one. And hitting the little end button because it's twice.